subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
All right, we are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here. Round of applause to you. Good people, round of applause to you. I'm glad you guys are in here. We're ready to chop up that great game as we always do. I'm going to need everybody first and foremost to give me a retweet. If you wonderful people could give me a retweet, that would be great to let everybody know that we are indeed live. And while you're retweeting, let me do a real quick shout out to some of the family in here. We got Rain Love, Brooklyn, Maine. We got Miss Hillary. We got Real Banger. We got Mike C, Ivy World, FBA said from San Diego, C Killer out here in LA, Castaway, Inglewood's finest, Panamera in the building. We got Texas Philly in the building. We got Cowboy, Big Hawk in the building, Juice, FBA Lamont in the building, High C, FBA Town Business, Rhonda, Ania Saru, Black Wall Street, Lil Me Sweets, Brother Martin from Brazil, Ty Powell, Highland, the lovely Stephanie, Grinds TV, my good brother FBA Furball, Sir Mike, and the Tethinator in the building. So everybody's getting up in here early, and I love it. Round of applause to the family. Respect to you. All right, so again, everybody know that we're live. Give me the retweets, everybody. Let folks know we're live. First thing we got to talk about, family. Jimmy Kimmel. Boy, they got Jimmy Kimmel off the air. Jimmy Kimmel has the late night show, Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel made a joke, and the joke mentioned Charlie Kirk. The joke wasn't really about Charlie Kirk. The joke mentioned Charlie Kirk. And Trump's people pulled some strings and got him canceled immediately, got his show taken off the air. Boy, these people are getting desperate. Boy, they're making some desperate ass moves. This is a major sign of desperation. Now, the joke, I heard the joke. It wasn't a bad joke. The joke was like, yeah, a lot of the MAGA people are mad at such and such. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. But yeah, the shooter of Charlie Kirk, he was part of them. So he went on, the joke was about Trump. So it wasn't about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, they were like, nah, we're gonna get you up out of here. And what they're trying to make it seem like, the far right white supremacist crowd, there was so much community pressure that they got Jimmy Kimmel off the air. That's not what it was. What it was, Trump's FCC chair. This guy was, you know, propped up by Trump. This Brendan Carr is a guy who's one of Trump's buddies, one of Trump's people, who's basically, Trump is pulling the strings on this Brendan Carr dude. He's up there at the FCC, and what happened was Trump and the FCC, because of the joke, they threatened to take ABC and Disney's broadcast license if they didn't silence Jimmy Kimmel. So they're playing like that now. So they're making them kind of moves. So they got him off the air, and some of the far right MAGA white supremacists, boy, they're doing victory laps. But here's the thing, it looks desperate. It looks kind of weak, because now the right wingers were running around here calling everybody everything under the child of God, except the child of God, and anybody who got offended, they were saying, well, stop being a snowflake. Oh, you got freedom of speech, stop being a snowflake, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. That was their whole thing. They're running around here talking about Charlie Kirk was a beacon of freedom of speech. Well, if he was a beacon of freedom of speech, why is it that everybody who says something about him, y'all get to acting like snowflakes, y'all get to whining and tattletaling and throwing the First Amendment out of the damn window, right? But they're looking real desperate right now, and they're targeting a lot of people as scapegoats. And this is very, very desperate. The right wing white supremacists, they are in desperate need of a scapegoat. See, in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, see, the right wing ecosystem, they're scrambling to shift blame to find some kind of symbolic enemy. So they're desperate for something. So now they're running around here talking about the shooter. Yeah, even though his family is a bunch of hardcore MAGAs, well, he was a leftist. Yeah, he was the black sheep of the family. He was really a leftist, and he has a trans boyfriend or girlfriend, or whatever you want to call it. So he had a hankering for bussy, and that made him a leftist. No, there's some right wing bussy hankering people out there too. No, 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 don't say that now. We don't know. We don't know what the guy's political leanings are. We know his family was hardcore MAGA. They were hardcore conservatives. So they're desperate right now. So they're going to assign guilt by association to anything. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to weaponize government institutions now. So involving the FBC under the influence of Trump's aligned officials, that shows that the white supremacists are openly, weaponizing these institutions that were meant to protect the public. So instead, they're using this to retaliate against people who they deem political enemies. So these are authoritarian regimes that's happening right now. So the white supremacist fragility is on full display right now. Them canceling a late night host over a monologue joke, that shows fragility. That's not a strong, stoic, leadership bound ideology. They're showing how emotionally reactive they are. They're showing how weak and unstable their ideological base really, really is when their so-called icons are questions. See, Charlie Kirk, they're propping him up as a martyr of white supremacy. They're desperately trying to make Charlie Kirk a martyr, and they're real sloppy with the way they're doing this stuff because they took a major L with Charlie getting hit like that. That was a major L. And a lot of times when a system or when an organization or when a group, when they get a shock like that, they start making desperate retaliatory moves. It's like a fight. Sometimes if somebody get a good lick on you, hit you in the face, you start thinking emotionally, you start swinging all crazy. That's what they're doing now. The white supremacists are just swinging crazy right now because they got hit in the face. So they're just doing anything. They're not even being strategic. They're being very desperate right now. And again, trying to make Charlie Kirk a martyr, and then trying to silence anybody who tells the truth about Charlie Kirk as if he's some kind of fallen hero. And they're trying to protect his white supremacist views. That shows desperation, and it shows hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is on full display. And that's what white supremacy is really about. It's all about I'm white and I say so. You can't do anything, but I can do what I just told you can't do. See, the white supremacists on the right, they always talk about how the left is trying to cancel them for their views. Yet here they are using state power and media pressure to get a late night host off the air. That exposes the hypocrisy in their so-called free speech defense. And really, man, this is a major deflection from the white on white violence. See, Kirk was killed by another white man in a white state in a white city at a white event. So rather than them deal with those internal issues, see, the white supremacists are trying to use Jimmy Kimmel and quote leftists as distractions. That's like a little sleight of hand tactic that they can use to avoid confronting their dysfunctional ass ranks. Speaking of that, in a town in Pennsylvania today, like 5 cops then got shot by a white man, allegedly. Imma just say alleged, but yeah, in, York County, Pennsylvania, an alleged white man bust on like 5 cops. I think he killed 3 of them. Y'all haven't heard nothing about that because it's a white man in a lily white town. That county out there in Pennsylvania, my Pennsylvania people know what I'm talking about. Outside of Pittsburgh and and Philly, Pennsylvania is lily white. It's white as hell. So you haven't even heard about like 5 cops getting shot. You haven't heard that because it's white. They downplay that stuff. Now if that was a brother who shot 5 cops, the National Guard would be out there right now. They'll have the National Guard out there. Oh, they'll have all the tether sambos on TV denouncing it. Oh, hey, those niggas are so violent, are not like me. Those niggas are violent. It'll be a circus. It'll be a full circus. But they always have to deflect from white on white violence. They have to deflect from that. And the thing is, they fear losing narrative control. See, a lot of late night TV hosts historically they, they mock power. That's the job. If you're attacking comedians, the comedy stage is supposed to be sacred. You understand? Going back to gestures, the court jesters, there was a sacredness there. You were allowed to use comedy to kind of mock the royal court, to mock the public. That was your thing. That was an acceptable outlet for civilization. So now these people are getting triggered by comedians. That's not that's desperation. So canceling him, that's about regaining power and control over the narrative. See, without control, their propaganda loses strength because right now they're desperate to make Charlie Kirk into a martyr. And it's real hard when everybody keeps reminding folks of how racist he was. He was a vile racist. So now anybody who mentions this, they'll, oh my God, you're mocking the dead. Oh, you're canceled for mocking the dead. And look, and I've said this several times. I've been very critical of Charlie Kirk. They back up off me because I'm not mocking the dead. I've been saying the same shit about Charlie Kirk for a decade. So they back up off me. They can't play that with me. So they kind of leave. They tried it initially, but then I start pulling up all the receipts. So they backed the fuck off me because I've been on Charlie Kirk's bumper. I've been on it. I've been everything I'm saying now. I've been saying for a decade. I've been calling this man's white supremacist views and anti-black racism out. I ain't mocking nothing. I said this shit when he was alive and to him. I would direct the shit to his ass. And I ain't changing. I'm gonna keep my same energy. And now other people are doing research on him because a lot of folks, he wasn't on the radar of a lot of people. He wasn't a mainstream guy. But this high profile killing of him, that kind of thrust it into the international news cycle, and people start listening and learning who he was, and they see, oh man, this guy was vile. This guy was horrible. Oh, don't say that you're mocking the dead. I'm gonna cancel you. Is that? Yeah. So they're really trying to make a white supremacist martyr out of this guy. And they're trying to control narratives and they're trying to use examples, make examples out of people, you see. And look, from the FCC to Congress, see, these institutions are being warped into tools of retribution. So this erosion of institutional integrity, that doesn't show power. That shows decay. That's a sign that the empire is crumbling from inside and it's lashing out wildly. And the public sees the desperation. See, the average person, they can see the overreaction. A joke doesn't justify cancellation unless you're trying to scare other people into silence. So these desperate ass moves, they're backfiring and it's making the white supremacists look real unstable and irrational right now. And it makes them look scared, you see. Because see, listen, I want y'all to understand how white supremacy works, man. It's very important that white supremacy, they got to have internal enemies or external enemies for internal unity. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to have an external enemy so you can have internal unity. White supremacy, they rely heavily on manufactured external threats in order to maintain their cohesion. See, when they have cracks forming internally, which they had with Charlie Kirk, that's an internal thing. That was white on white on. That's all white. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else, but they keep trying to find some type of outside deflection. You understand? They got to target some black folks. That's why they immediately started threatening HBCUs. They started to go after black people who say anything negative about Charlie Kirk, getting black kids expelled from school. That's desperation. They're trying to find a unifying distraction. They have to have a common enemy to rally against so they can temporarily patch up their own internal discord. You know what I'm saying? It's internal weakness that they got a scapegoat from. When they project the blame outward, they can avoid facing their own dysfunction. White supremacy never sits up and say, "Hey, we're some sick ass people practicing this white supremacy." No, they're like, "Hey, we get too many good benefits though. We get benefits and goodies out of it. So yeah, sick be damned. We just have to be sick." But then that sickness turns on each other. They start cannibalizing each other. You understand? So instead of them admitting their fractures in leadership, their moral failings, their internal sabotage, they have to weaponize scapegoating to redirect attention. So that kind of shields their base from recognizing how fragile the structure really is. See, white supremacy is a strong thing, but it's very weak. It's very fragile, and they know it because it's built on lies. It's built on lies. It's built on lies, myths, and bullshit, and they know it. And they know it can crumble at any moment. So they have to be on the same page. Because see, deflection that preserves the myth of white supremacy. That when they have these internal divisions, that contradicts the illusion that white supremacy is a powerful, stable, unified system. In order for them to preserve that myth, they gotta aggressively deflect from their instability and they gotta go on the offense. So they always gotta target marginalized groups, critics, dissenters, anybody who can be demonized as the real problem. And the victimhood thing, they got to make themselves victims. They always got to say they're the victims. Whiteness has always got to be victimized to justify aggression. You see, they can't function without an enemy. I want y'all to understand that. The entire system of white supremacy is built on us versus them logic. You see, without a quote them, they have no purpose. They have no justification, no fuel for the movement. So when internal problems happen, it becomes a survival tactic for them to manufacture or amplify some kind of external enemy so they can maintain psychological control. See, we are different. See, we don't understand how these people think. Because see, us as foundational Black Americans, we we're all about unifying. We're not insecure. We can unify with everybody because we're culturally secure with who we are, so we can unify with people. It's not an us versus them. We don't have to have uh, a perpetual enemy. You understand? Foundational Black Americans, we're the cultural bridge builders of America. We've consistently served as cultural connectors, create music, language, fashion, social movements, all of these things that unify people across racial and national lines, from jazz, hip hop, civil rights, sports. Our culture invites participation and it builds bridges. And when we fight for universal justice, not just for group power. We don't get off on that type of shit. We fight to make sure everybody is good because we're secure with ourselves. You understand? Harriet Tubman fought for freeing the enslaved. Frederick Douglass, he was an advocate for abolition, and Dr. King would march for civil rights. And foundational Black Americans, we've fought not just for Black liberation, but for the uplift of humanity as a whole. So we embody justice in a way that elevates people, not just ourselves. And that can be a gift and a curse sometimes. Because, see, we build coalition movements even when we're betrayed. We've always extended solidarity. You understand? Even when groups abandoned the coalition and then took advantage of the momentum, we've always kept the moral high ground and remained focused on inclusive progress. Now we're delineating now because now we can't let people continue to come in and sabotage us. But we're still about unity. I want y'all to understand something. We're still about unity because when we delineate, the tethers be running around. Oh, you niggas are divisive. Why are you so divisive? No, 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 no. Delineating isn't about division. Delineating is about mutual respect. It's about cultural clarity, and it's about building authentic unity based on truth and lineage. When when we delineate family, it's about cultural accuracy. It's not about separation. We, as foundational Black Americans, we got a very unique lineage. It's rooted in slavery and resistance and nation building right here on U.S. soil. And when we identify that lineage, that's not division. That's just acknowledging a historic truth. Just as other groups, they acknowledge their truth. Jamaicans, Nigerians, Haitians, they proudly identify their roots. And we are saying we deserve that same kind of clarity and respect. We respect your lineage, you're going to respect ours. True unity requires mutual cultural respect. You see, you can't build authentic unity while erasing somebody else's identity. See, foundational Black American delineation, it's like basically we're saying we respect our lineage, we respect yours. Now you respect ours as well. So that's going to set the groundwork for some real solidarity. So when people come together as equals, you understand? And you bring your unique lineage and culture to the table. And delineation again, man, that prevents cultural erasure because um, when you identify yourself, you protect your historic narrative. You protect your historic contributions from being erased. And recognizing our lineage as foundational Black Americans, that ensures that our cultural and social groundwork that we laid will not be falsely credited to others who just got here and then they'll turn around and tell us we ain't got no culture. See, that's been the problem. See, real delineation, man, that encourages transparency when you do some coalition building. See, delineation, it makes it clear who brings what to the table, and it allows for an honest collaboration. You know? So where you got African immigrants, Caribbean immigrants, Afro Latino, whoever, we get together, we can partner on shared goals without any kind of confusion, without any kind of unspoken resentment, without people coming in and trying to claim jump the shit we did. Like, yeah, we created hip hop 50-50, you weird shit. No, 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 no. That's disrespect. That's disrespect. And it's very important to understand lineage-based justice because that's not division-based hate. When we talk about reparations and resource allocation, those policies, they got to be rooted in lineage, not a generalized skin color. And we can't have people who came from cultures undermining their cultures there, coming over here, tethering on to us, then trying to act as representative, which is what we've been seeing with this whole Charlie Kirk thing. This is why I'm tying this back to Charlie Kirk. We've been seeing a plethora of tethers run around here trying to use their melanin to get some damn butter biscuits from the white supremacists. Yeah, I've been seeing tether after tether running around here. Listen, I'm Black and Charlie Kirk was not racist. I've been seeing way too much of that. Luckily, because we've delineated, we've already neutralized those clowns, so they're not effective. That's why delineation is important, family. That's why delineation is very important because now when these fools step up here trying to use their melanin to act as our spokesperson so they can go out here and do some damn tap dancing, there's a unified call to say, sit your ass down. You ain't of our lineage. You are not our spokesperson. So those people are being immediately neutralized culturally. being our spokespersons. That was the purpose of delineating, because these same people who sat up there and undermined everybody in their homeland, they want to come over here and do that same stuff so they can get them some little butter biscuits. And we're just not letting it happen. So it's about getting some clarity. It's about getting some straightening out here. And we're seeing a lot of hyper policing of Black people now because of the Charlie Kirk thing. Y'all notice that? Did y'all see, what's the tennis player's name? What's that sister's name? What's that tennis player's name? The Black girl. God, I can't think of her name right now. She's kicking ass in tennis. And why am I having a brain fart? If y'all know that sister's name, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know that sister's name. Come on up real quick, because I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of the sister's name. It was the tennis player a few weeks ago. She had a tennis match, and the white girl was talking crap to her, saying she was low class and all this because she lost. The white girl lost. So she started talking crap to her. Let me get Ryan. I know you know the name, brother. Hold on. Let me get you in, Ryan, brother. Ryan. Ryan, what's that sister's name, brother? Hop on in, sir. Ryan. Brother Ryan. Ryan. Come on, y'all got to call up with the non-janky phones. Let me get my sister. Let's get blessed in here. Let's get blessed.
I'm here, brother,
There you go.
man.
There you go. Can you hear me, Ryan?
Yeah, I can hear you good. You can hear me?
I can hear you, brother. What's that sister's name?
I'm not
God,
sure. I added
damn,
before
damn,
I
damn,
heard the
damn,
question.
damn. Come on, brother. Oh, come on, man. I'm asking a very specific question. Okay, Sister Bless. I know you know, sister. What's up? Sister Blessed.
Tyler Townsend.
What's her name?
Tyler Townsend.
Taylor?
Tyler Townsend.
Taylor Townsend.
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Taylor. Okay.
All
Thank you.
right. I got you.
Thank you, beloved. Is it Taylor? Okay. Taylor Townsend. Okay, let me get Paris in here because Sister Bless kind of had a little accent. She's country as hell. Like Paris. What?
Yeah, hi Tariq. It's Taylor Townsend.
Taylor Townsend. Got it.
Right.
There you go. All right, thank you. All right, so Taylor Townsend family, she was in China, if I'm not mistaken, guys. She was in China, right? And she went to one of the wet markets there. You know, they got like weird food. They got weird food. So she's like, oh my gosh. She kind of made some comments about the food. She's like, I can't eat that. Oh God. Ooh, they got frogs. Ooh, I gotta call HR. So she was kind of making some little jokes about some of the food there, which is what, is whatever. Do you know there was a backlash and they had to force that sister to apologize? Man, the sister was forced to apologize. She made an apology video like, hey man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend nobody. Really? Really? She had to apologize because she made disparaging remarks about Chinese food. This is desperation, what they're doing, dude. They're getting real desperate. She didn't say nothing about the people. They're like, this cooked frog look weird. Oh, I can't eat that. And they made her apologize. That's desperation, ladies and gentlemen. And they're really throwing that shit on Black people heavy. See, the thing is, look, the white supremacist, and this is the backlash of Charlie Kirk's death. They're really going overboard again. Like I'm saying, like they're getting so desperate right now. They're getting extremely desperate, and they're making some real desperate plays. And when the white supremacists take a big hit, the first thing they got to do instinctively, we got to start policing the Blacks. Oh, we took a hit. Where are the Blacks? We gotta control them. We gotta police them. We gotta censor them. We gotta control them. Anything they do, we gotta go overboard. Oh, did she say something about Chinese food? Oh, that's racism. You better apologize. That's about control. The white supremacists, they require complete control over the narrative when they are insecure. For them to maintain power, they can't just control the system. They got to control the story. So anytime a Black person challenges or criticizes a white supremacist figure like a Charlie Kirk, Or a black woman challenges a white woman talking crazy to her after the black woman whooped her ass in tennis. Huh? Because they didn't forget that, by the way. They didn't like the optics of this black woman checking a low-key racist ass white woman. They didn't like the optics of that. So they had to kind of get their lick back. See, that threatens their narrative. So silencing black speech, that's their way of maintaining mythological control over who is seen as heroic, who is innocent, who is victimized. You see? But yeah, they wanted to get their lick back on that sister, even though she was right for checking that low-key racist white woman sitting up here talking crazy after she lost the tennis match. And I tell you, the thing about black athletes, when they can't beat us on the court, they got to beat us in the system of white supremacy. They always do that. Since Jack Johnson. When you cannot beat us in the court, it's always some other janky shit going on. Oh, black athletes, you beating up all these white boxers. Oh, we're gonna put a child support case on you. Oh, we're gonna draft you into the military, and if you don't go, we're gonna lock you up. Oh, we're gonna put the Mann Act on you. We created a new law for you because you're out here sleeping with these white women. So we created a whole new law just for you with Jack Johnson. So they've always had a thing about policing, not just black people, but athletes in particular, you see. And, they're desperately trying to create this martyr thing, especially with Charlie Kirk. See, when oppressive regimes, when they force citizens to mourn publicly for their fallen leaders, the white supremacists, they're trying to force black people into fake reverence for Charlie Kirk. And if a black person even questions his legacy or cracks a joke, they're punished because any dissent that undermines their attempt to martyr him. Yeah. And all of this policing black speech, that distracts from white guilt and white on white violence. Yeah. Policing what black people say, that's a very strategic deflection. And them punishing black dissent, that reinforces a racial hierarchy. They're trying to make examples out of people. They're trying to say, hey, look, we're going to get you black folks for anything. Yeah, we can get you. We can make you bow down. We can make you apologize. Now, the pendulum is going to swing back. All of this stuff is going to backfire. Eventually, boy, they're digging a hole for themselves. Because now, since they're setting a precedent of all this stuff you can't say, when they want to start sharing memes of dead black people again and talking all crazy and yell about free speech, people are going to bring all this stuff up. The right-wing white supremacists, boy, they're digging a big old hole for themselves.
I can dig it. I'm on my way.
Where you going, Rootwork Jones?
There's some musty suckers on the streets. I got to go handle that. I got to split, baby. Can you dig it?
When you need to clean the stank off the streets, you don't call your mama, you call Rootwork Jones. Rootwork Jones is a stone-cold dude that keeps the stanky suckers shaking in their boots.
Listen up, chumps. I'm looking for Dolomus. Can you dig it?
Rootwork Jones is getting down to the nitty-gritty, taking on the mustiest sucker in the city.
Dolomust is my name, and staying good and musty is my game. Where is Rootwork Jones?
This is a super soul brother getting rid of the stank. And you can for sure take that to the bank.
Take that, you musty jive turkeys.
When Rootwork Jones is not dealing with drama, he finds time to deal with foxy mamas.
Why don't you come on over here and give me some of that root work, sugar?
Rootwork Jones. He's bold, he's bad, and he's keeping the suckers musty mad. Rootwork Jones coming to a theater near you. Go to rootworkstyle.com.